founder of AtoZ Communications, and this is the Brand Stories podcast. This is where we talk about everything related to marketing, public relations, and just branding in general. This week, we're very fortunate to have Continuum Brand Strategies founder Ashley Dudzik on the podcast. Not only is she a lovely human being, but she's also quite knowledgeable when it comes to all things branding and marketing activities. Take a listen. Ashley, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you both personally and professionally, and you are just such a lovely human being.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here, Allie. When your email came through last week, I was just thrilled to see it and super excited to join you on the podcast. So thank you so much for being so kind and welcoming me as I started off my consulting firm this year. It's been a pleasure to work alongside you and get to know you on a personal level as well.
Oh, well, thank you. So the first question that I ask everybody on this podcast is, what's their favorite brand and why?
There's a lot of really great brands out there. I think I shared this on a previous podcast, but I'm going to share it again here because I think they do such an amazing job. But I'm a mom of two littles, so everything Disney is very predominant at our house at the moment. But on a brand level, I've been obviously a big admirer of their brand over the years, and especially as a child growing up watching a lot of Disney and experiencing Disney in different ways. But I so love how you just become immersed in the brand and everything that they have, especially when you're visiting the theme parks and even prior to going. I mean, you just have that complete brand experience and the welcome email, the website. I mean, every little detail they have is just so well thought out. And I think that from a brand perspective, it takes a lot of time and a lot of care to really develop a brand like Disney, and thinking about how well they take care of all the patrons of their parks, especially those that have any kind of special need, whether it's autism or a physical disability. They do a really nice job. And I think that's something just so admirable and something that I think is hard to achieve, especially from a brand perspective.
Yeah, I love that answer. I think I shared with you too. So similarly, this is my favorite brand. Although I should echo what you said, I didn't add in the fact that they are very deliberate and good about handling people with all different kinds of experiences. So that's great to achieve, definitely. So how did you first get into branding? Was this something like when you were a little girl, you were like, I love branding, or how did that happen?
Yeah. So in high school, we actually had this program that we were a part of called the Career Opportunity Program, where you get to go and shadow an alumni of the school. And I happened to shadow a gentleman who had worked at an ad agency here in Chicago called Leo Burnett. Many of us in marketing know it very well. It's one of the most iconic advertising agencies in the world. The Marlboro Man, Charlie the Tuna, Tony the Tiger, the Allstate Man. I mean, there's just so many iconic brands that have come out of Leo Burnett. And after shadowing him that day, I just knew that was like my dream job, and that's what I wanted to do. Fast forward, I graduated when the market was terrible. I had interned at the time at a local community bank here. So I actually started my career in financial services, but always knew that I wanted to work at Leo Burnett, and that was my dream job. I happened to get in there shortly after a couple of years, kind of working and getting my feet wet in marketing, working at that local community bank, and got my dream job at Leo Burnett, worked there for several years, absolutely loved every minute of it. Met so many wildly talented people that I continue to follow in this larger network that we continue to build of meeting different people at different careers and different opportunities. And my goodness, they're doing amazing things and some really exciting things that are just super admirable, and things that I'm also following as AI has become a big part of our day now and as marketers. But to answer your question, I knew after shadowing Dan that day just how impactful branding and design and marketing really was and why I wanted to get into it. And then fast forward, leaving the ad agency, I had an opportunity to work at Morningstar and under a wildly talented woman named Krista Matea, who just was completely transformative in helping me understand brand, what is the importance of brand. If you know anything about Morningstar, they're really big and very proud of the brand and design that comes out of Morningstar, and just being really thoughtful in their approach. And so I would say the 7 years I spent there were incredibly impactful on my career and helping me understand the importance of all facets of the brand and design.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned Tony the Tiger was one that I remember from being a little kid. But so for whether it's financial advisors or fintech firms or whatnot, when they're like, I'm never going to get a Tony the Tiger. Why would I even bother? How would you say that whether that's achievable or that brand is still important to those kind of firms?
I think that thinking about brand from a financial services perspective is, how do you want people to feel when they encounter your brand? Brand is more than a logo. It's more than just an icon you see. It's exactly how they feel when they walk away from any kind of encounter with you, whether it's an email, a social media post, it could be an engagement, it could be an event. Brand is, omni-channel. How does somebody feel when they walk away from experiencing your brand? And so what I would say to a financial advisor that is thinking about their brand and maybe they're looking to go independent, what is their brand? What is their differentiator? I would ask them to think about what's important to you and who do you serve? Do you have a specific niche that you're trying to reach? Really being really clear and getting that clarity on like who you are, what you stand for, and how do you want people to walk away from when they encounter your brand, and how do you want to make them feel inside? And so thinking about brand, I would say it's a lot deeper than just a logo. It's how you make people feel inside.
I love that. So you currently have your own agency, which is fabulous. And how has Continuum been going, and how has it been launching this?
Yes. Well, with the name Continuum, this has been an ever evolving venture that I'm on. I went through a little bit of a career change at the beginning of the year, and it just completely propelled me in a direction that I did not think that I would be going in. I always thought I'd be more of an in-house marketer, taking on another chief marketing officer role. And shortly after going through that transition, it became pretty clear and apparent from just people in my network and mentors of mine, just that I should start my own, which was, I will tell you, very scary. It takes a lot of nerves, a lot of guts to go out there and put yourself out there. And I'm so grateful I did. And again, I think it's been a continuum. I will tell you, I put together my first statement of work for a particular client. And before the ink was even dried, I will tell you that statement of work wildly changed. It was the first question that came out of this person's mouth was, so what are you doing with Claude's skills? And everything within the statement of work kind of went out the window, and we had to reformat and reshape what that statement of work is. And I will tell you, the age of AI has wildly been changing the way that I work and the way that I think a lot of other marketers around me are working. I'm sure on the PR side, you're seeing it as well. But it's been super exciting. I love that I get the opportunity to work with such talented people every day. I get to see different challenges that they're facing, think about ways that I can come in and bring my strategy in more of like a brand strategic lens to help them figure out and find solutions to those problems, and working alongside other, whether it's their team that they have or other third-party vendors that they're working with. That it's been really neat. I've actually really loved it. And I'm a people person. I love meeting people. I love talking to people and collaborating. So it's been a really great way for me to not only expand my network of people that I'm working with and meeting, but also to help kind of connect those clients with some of the people in my network to help them on a strategic front.
Yeah. Well, and so I should say, experiencing your work firsthand, I mean, it really, the thought and the care that you put into it, and I very much appreciate that, because you can tell that things aren't just slapshod like, oh, and we should do this. And you really design everything to the point that it just, from thing to thing to thing to this is exactly who we are. It's beautiful. How do you get everything organized and cohesive like that?
Thank you for that. That's a huge compliment. So thank you.
You're more
I will tell you, I think in general, making sure that people have a really clear line of sight on what the goal is and where we're going, what we stand for. Again, going back to the basics of who are we, who do we serve, and what is our end goal, and how are we going to get there is something that I like to just bring it back to the basics every time. I am thinking about a particular client that you and I have both worked on. I think just making sure that that's on the forefront and that we're staying on top of, is the communication there, making sure that if the communication isn't there, how do we connect the dots, and making sure that everyone is on the same page, marching towards that end goal that we've set out to achieve. I think just making sure we have a really clear game plan and knowing who we are. I will say there's a lot of firms out there that have a lot of silos, and I've seen it in large organizations and in small. It could be really easy to fall off the tracks and lose that focus. But making sure you know where you're going, what the game plan is, and the communication around that, I think is key. And so I'm thinking about a particular client that you and I have both worked on. Making sure we have those touch points is so important, and keeping everyone in the loop has been, in my opinion, I think is a great way to be a team player and making sure that we're successful.
Yeah, absolutely. So for firms who might be thinking, Ashley sounds amazing, I would love to work with her, but I don't know, do I need her? Do I need like some other kind of marketing? Do I need PR? What is it that I need? How do they determine Ashley is probably the person that I need.
Sure. I think if you're a business owner or someone that's going through just even a hurdle, maybe you're a new entrant to the financial services world, or even outside of it, I'm working with a luxury wine brand actually, which is really exciting. So outside of financial services and in an area that I'm really excited and interested in as well on a personal level. So I would say anyone that is looking to continue to expand and grow their brand, obviously I'd be a great fit for that. If you're a company or a person that is leading a company that has found themselves in a little bit of a trouble and they were having a hard time with connecting sales and marketing together, that seems to have been a sweet spot for me as well, of just trying to figure out how we can bring those worlds together in a cohesive way and making a really strong impact. I think, as we mentioned earlier in this interview, brand is a really big part of what I'm passionate about. So helping companies that are looking to do a rebrand or even a brand refresh. I absolutely love doing all those things and partnering with people that are way more creative than I am on the creative and design side. I'm thinking of someone in particular right now, Jason Ackley, who recently launched his own consulting firm. I think he was at Morningstar for over 20 years, and he's just incredibly talented and another person to kind of add to this network of consultants that I'm now trying to make sure that I'm sending business out and business coming in my way, different ways, and collaborating with people in my network, which is really fun. And on a PR side, obviously there's you, and there's so many other wonderful PR firms that are out there that are doing some awesome work.
Well, thank you. And I have to say, so I don't know how you've found this, but my business is only a little bit over 2 years old. I feel like I've noticed that as being the strength, that the more that we have our network and that we know, yes, I can't do anything branding, but Ashley is fabulous, or I'm not really a marketing professional, I ought to refer you to XYZ. I feel like that's really the strength of small businesses like us now, as opposed to feeling as if, well, you need multiple tentacles. It's really just that good referral.
Oh, absolutely. And especially there's this market right now. Firms are trying to do more with less and trying to really find those ways of finding efficiencies. And so hiring a full-time employee is a little daunting, and obviously it's a tougher pill to swallow as they're looking at their overarching budget. But hiring someone on that's a consultant that could come on for a period of time or work on a project, or maybe they're looking to outsource a certain role, just for different nuanced reasons. That's where I really think there's a sweet spot for consulting right now, especially in the financial services, fintech world, that we can think about the broader network of providers that are out there. And there's so many wonderful consultants and people that have started their own firms that are just doing awesome work. And again, thinking about who could potentially be best for this client, because there are so many of us out there now, which is a wonderful thing. I think there's so much work to go around, and it's really just thinking about who in your network of consultants or the business owners that would be a better fit for that client.
Absolutely. So in terms of where you feel like advisor branding is these days, I mean, I feel like there's the fantastic, there's the and then there's everything in between. Would you say that that's the case, or do you feel like advisor branding has gotten amped up a little bit in recent years?
I would definitely say it's been amped up in recent years, for sure. I think there's some players that are doing an incredible job. Wealth.com is one that I come back to. Dan Bolton's done a fantastic job of coming on board and leading the branding and design and marketing there. He's an incredible human being, and I absolutely love working with Dan. He's great. There's a lot of really great firms that are doing some great work out there. I think just thinking about our industry as a whole, and even from a conference level, how wildly different a conference experience has been with the introduction of Future Proof Festival. I mean, my goodness, it is nowhere near what financial service conferences used to be and what that experience was. But it's making financial services a lot more exciting and more accessible. I really enjoyed my time at Future Proof. I thought it was fantastic. Those one-on-one meetings were great. But thinking about the branding just externally, it's a fresh look, a fresh feel to financial services and events in particular in that case. But thinking about other fintechs, I think there's a lot of really great firms that are doing a neat job out there. I mean, there's just so many awesome marketers that are out there just crushing it. Ryan George, I know he's not in a chief marketing officer role anymore at Precise FP, but he's done some awesome work and just really great work when it comes to rebranding. I know he went through a full rebrand when they went through some recent changes in the past couple of years, and he's just done an awesome job.
Well, speaking of the rebrand, so I feel like some firms think we're just at that point, or it's been whatever number of years, we should do a rebrand. Is there like a strategic point that a company should get to, or is it just, hey, I feel like I prefer the flavored chocolate to vanilla, so let's move toward chocolate? How do you help some firms decide when it's time to rebrand?
When your current plan is no longer serving the clientele that you were initially set out to serve. So where I'm coming at with that is, do we need to reintroduce ourselves? I guess that's a question I would say. Do we need to reintroduce ourselves? Have we pivoted our strategy? Have we pivoted who we're serving? Have we pivoted our services? I think there's so many questions that I would ask a firm before I would go through any kind of a major rebrand. I think some firms may just need a brand refresh, which is essentially just kind of giving them a little bit of a fresher look and take on things. But a full rebrand, I don't think is completely necessary unless you are fully changing what your initial approach was and you want to make sure that nobody is confusing you for whatever that old brand was, and where you want to go in this future state. And so I would say if you're thinking about a brand refresh, be very thoughtful and mindful about taking that approach. You definitely don't want to spend a lot of money on doing that kind of work and people saying, well, so what? It's just a different logo. Like, what's so different about it? I could think of a couple of companies right now off the top of my head that went through some brand refreshes or updates and full rebrands, and people were kind of asking the questions, what changed? And I would venture to say that should have been the question that was asked before the work was done. What changed in our business and how do we want people to perceive us moving forward?
Absolutely. So you were mentioning before Claude skills. I'll be honest, I only dabble in AI. I probably should be doing much more than what I'm doing, and I will hold myself a little more accountable to that. But so how did you get into that, and how do you feel like that's transformed the way that you work?
Again, I think this transformative year that 2026 has been for me on a personal and professional front has given me the leeway and the space to learn and to fully immerse myself in it and adopt it. It's been a complete game changer in the way that I think about marketing and the way I think about scaling marketing. Claude skills, to be completely honest with you, I was working with a different client, and one of her other consultants had shared with me some Claude skills and markdown files and things that he was working on for this particular brand. And we just started having some share sessions back and forth and asking questions as we both were kind of learning it. He was a little bit ahead of me because he introduced it to me, but he was just a little bit ahead of me. And we've kind of been sharing some learnings back and forth, which has been really neat. So again, I think that this is such a new area for marketers. I mean, obviously AI has been out there, right? That's no question, but the way that marketers are using it in financial services is a new thing. And I think it's one of those things that we have to be mindful of and thoughtful about our approach in doing so. But at the same time, I think there's so many wonderful efficiencies that come with using Claude or whatever your particular AI tool of use, that you're allowed to use or that you're interested in. I know some firms can only use Copilot. I'm not as well versed in using Copilot. I feel like on the banking side, my husband's in the banking world, and that's the only form of AI they have access to. Claude is a lot different. It blows my mind every time I'm using it. It blows my mind. I'll be honest with you. I'm learning something every day. If I had advice to anybody that's thinking about dabbling in AI, do it. Just do it. It's not going away. If anything, it's going to continue to change the way that we work. And I think it's one of those things that had I not had the time that I had to really fully embrace it and immerse myself in it, I don't know if I would have done it as much as I have done today. And I would encourage just anybody, if you're thinking about how can I use this in my day-to-day, try it out. And I think your mind is going to be blown on how well it can help you articulate things or, just help you to just increase efficiencies on a project that you're working on, or you can just do a quick brain dump of your notes and ask it to help you put an outline together, whatever it may be. And, obviously there's a place for AI and there's a place not for AI. And I know that brands in the future that are going to be successful and that really are differentiated and stand out are going to have that human touch to them. And that's something I'm obviously very passionate about, and I'll continue to keep pushing with Continuum. I love AI for efficiency and growth and things of that nature, but I also feel like there's definitely a place for that human interaction, just like financial services. And so, that's how I kind of got into dabbling in it. And now it's a part of my everyday and what I use with my clients.
Love it. Well, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness that you're interacting with it with, because I would agree. I've seen, here's a press release from AI, and yes, you can do that, and it looks relatively okay, but also it's quite obvious that it's from AI, and what is it really achieving? So I think we're still in this period of trying to figure out, okay, well, it can do this, it can't do that, or even if it can do this, maybe it shouldn't do that.
Absolutely.
But to your point, our efficiency is going to be achieved 1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
So we've still got another 5 months to this year. As you think about next year, I mean, if 2026 was transformative, what do you feel like 2027 and beyond is for Continuum?
I'm really excited. I just had a complete brand strategy session just for Continuum. I think I might have shared this with you a few weeks back when we chatted, but this year has been very transformative on a personal level, professional level. There's been a lot going on family-wise. Felt like as soon as I announced Continuum, my world kind of came to a halt with a family matter that had come up. And I've just kind of gotten back into the groove of really trying to stay focused and working on the business and not so much in the business. Because I think there's some really awesome things that are going to be coming out of Continuum in the future. And I think we're just getting started. Honestly, I'm really excited. Like I said, I had a strategy session over the weekend, and I'm really, really pumped about what's to come.
Good for you. And you know what? I mean, that line between working on and working in, I'll be honest, I'm probably working a little too much in and need to do a little more on. We figure it out. It is what it is. Yeah.
Totally. It's like anything in life. They're like little levers. You're always kind of toggling and pulling different levers at different times for the different needs in your life. But that's one of the things I would say as a new consultant, finding time to work on the business is something that is imperative and important as well. There's a lot more that's to come, and I'm excited. So,
good for you. Well,
thanks.
I'm very excited to see everything that comes from you. And I'll be honest, so I know that your passion is in financial services and fintech, but since you mentioned luxury wine, if you so happen to get some like luxury Riesling and you want to mail it over to New York, that'd totally be okay with me.
I got you, girl.
I appreciate it. But continued good work, and thank you for being such an awesome person. I feel like above anything else, that's the most important thing.
Likewise. It's been incredible meeting you and sharing some of the commonalities that we share as moms. And it's been awesome working with you on some different client projects. And I'm excited to hopefully work with you on many more in the future. So thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity and having me on as well.
Yeah. Thank you. To much more success for both of us.
Yes.
Thank you.